Welcome back to the channel. Today we're reacting to a book titled Say Her Name by Zetta Elliott. If this book piques your interest, there will be a link in the description box below. Also check out my second YouTube channel named See My Power. It's the men's version to this channel. Help me get this video to 1,000 likes, and as always, don't forget to like, share, watch more videos, and subscribe to the channel.
Recorded Books and RB Digital present Say Her Name by Zetta Elliott. Narrated by Cheney Waits. Introduction. I sometimes write poetry, but I am not a poet. At least, I've never thought of myself that way. I'm a writer of plays, novels, essays, and books for children. If I got stuck while working on a story, I might stop and write a half dozen haiku. But on average, I used to write just one poem a year, and only when I was angry. Then at the start of 2018, Paquita Campoverde at the Brooklyn Public Library asked me to prepare high school students for a tribute to Pulitzer Prize-winning poet Gwendolyn Brooks. Years before, I had done a similar event for beloved children's poet Shel Silverstein, and I Make Magic was one of the poems I wrote as an example for my second grade students. When I discovered my teen writers weren't familiar with Brooks and her contemporaries, I began introducing poetry by other Black women. I shared my mentor texts, poems I have admired, studied, and taught for years. These poets helped me to find my own voice, and I hoped they would inspire my students too. We only had 3 sessions together in January, but I encouraged my teens to continue writing. I did the same, and by the end of March, 2 poems inspired by Brooks's We Real Cool had blossomed into 40 poems about the vulnerability, strength, and magic of Black women and girls. It wasn't hard to find inspiration. Every day, I saw examples of Black excellence reported online alongside accounts of appalling brutality. I still wrote when I was angry, but the core of rage is pain, which means I turned to poetry because I was hurting. The past few years have been difficult for many of us, and writing has certainly helped me cope with what often feels like an endless stream of bad news. Still, some days are better than others when it comes to managing my emotions. I've lived with depression and anxiety since I was a teenager, and finding a healthy balance between hope and fear is a daily struggle. In poems like Self-Care and Appetite, I have tried to be honest and compassionate about my own limitations. In my 20s, I wrote a dissertation on the lynching of Black women. I was braver then, more willing to draw close to the things that frightened me. Now that I am middle-aged, I find I'm more inclined to step back than to rush ahead. I still believe, however, that we do not have the right to look away. And when you are a witness, you have a duty to testify. My research on lynching taught me that power goes to those who are best able to represent their victimization. No easy task for Black women and girls who are rarely, if ever, read as innocent in this society. But as Zora Neale Hurston famously warned, if you are silent about your pain, they'll kill you and say you enjoyed it. This book is my way of bearing witness. I have not lost a loved one to police violence, but I have been changed by seeing my sisters and brothers shamed, shot, and slammed to the ground. In response, I have not marched. My protest exists mostly on the page. Sometimes it feels like that's not enough. Other times I recognize that we each have a role to play. In How to Resist, I tried to express the range of protest possibilities, ending with the most radical act of all. Feel something. I'm grateful for the survivors, scholars, students, and activists whose daring and determination placed them in the streets or in the courts, in the thick of protests on campus or online. Despite the risk, they are out in front, inspiring us with their courage. They are the leaders we need right now. The title of this collection comes from the campaign launched by the African American Policy Forum in 2014. I wish it was automatic, that violence against Black women, girls, and femmes received the same media attention and community outrage. I wish more Black men and boys spoke out, stood up, and marched for us the way we grieve, rage, and mobilize on their behalf. But I am heartened by the way Black women have founded organizations and movements to insist that all Black lives matter. I am equally grateful for the artist whose work helps us to envision a better future. 4 of my mentor poems are included in this collection, and I hope readers will hear in my poems the echo of Lucille Clifton, Nikki Giovanni, Audre Lorde, and Phyllis Wheatley. I have deliberately sampled some of their verses in order to place my poems in conversation with the poet elders who showed me what was possible. In 1977, the Combahee River Collective published a powerful, provocative statement. It, too, has been a mentor text for me. I can recite some parts by heart, and I revisit their manifesto when I find myself in need of inspiration. We realize that the only people who care enough about us to work consistently for our liberation are us. We do have allies, but some days it feels like all we have is each other. This book of poetry is for us. I love us. ZE 12/28/18. Take your sister's hand. Twine your fingers between hers. Face the world as one. Young, gifted, and Black, willing to sacrifice all to see justice done. I woke up like this, fierce, focused, and ready to fight for my people. Black Girl Miracle. Black girl, you are more than magic. You are a miracle because we were never meant to survive, not as human beings, yet, despite their best efforts to grind us down, still we rise. We strut, dazzle, and defy the odds to claim the gold, solve the equation, hoist the trophy, break all barriers, and set every trend. So let them shun us. We won't dim our shine. We will luxuriate in the beauty we see in each other. We will protect ourselves with rituals of healing. We will dance beneath the new moon and pray beside the sea so that the ancestors know their blessings have been received. Lullaby. Beloved, let me sing you a lullaby. Let me wrap you in a tender embrace and rock you till you sleep. Let my flesh shield yours from bigots' bullets. clinical indifference, academic aggression, and the callous gaze that sees a monster lurking inside your hooded eyes. Let me school you. Fill your mind with magic myths and truths no bars could contain. Let me build a world where you are safe to play, in the park and swim, in the pool and sit at your desk and sleep in your house and laugh in the street so that when you walk home from the store, you reach me alive. Black Lives Matter. For Alicia, Opal, and Patrice. Like alchemists, you took our shame and turned it into pride. You made rage respectable again and showed us how to move our bodies as one to occupy the streets where we are slain. Beloved Trinity, we heeded your call and followed your lead, got ourselves in formation, got ourselves to the polls, to the precincts, and all the places we've never been wanted or seen or heard. They will try to pass the mic to the brother standing behind you, but we know the burden you bear as women, Black, immigrant, queer. We will not let them erase you. You are visible and valuable to us. We humbly thank you, sisters, for coining this affirmation, for sparking this revolution, for building this vital movement, for upholding us with this steady love. How to resist. March, curse, fume, cry, but save some of your salt to cure the rage so it lasts even longer. Write a poem. Write a check. Take a social media break. Take a long bath. Put lotion on your body, then put your body in the street. Don't waste your words on frauds. Be strategically silent, or find the spaces of denial and shatter the silence with your screams. Close your ears to the lies, but listen to the cries of the weak and wounded. Keep the truth deep inside, safe from the filthy fingers that warp everything they touch. Let it throb, ache, and break, over and over again. But don't harden your heart. Harden your resolve instead. Most of all, feel something. Feel something. Feel something. Don't touch my hair. Don't touch my hair. These locks are worth more than gold. My crowning glory is my personal wealth, so keep your hands to yourself. I have no time for your simple curiosity or bald contempt. Do you wash it? Comb it? It looks so unkempt. You can ban my braids, try to tame my fro, even snatch my wig, but you can never displace the ancient roots that reach deep into my soul and bind me to the very first mother. Africa springs proud and defiant from my oiled scalp. My coils, curls, and kinks will persist, so I insist that respect be shown. My halo is not yours to regulate. Self-care. Some days, it's okay to eat cupcakes instead of kale. To pull on stretchy pants and a hoodie, curl up on the sofa and watch online videos of baby goats prancing in pajamas. It's okay to curl into your pillow when there's no one else to hold and let your tears soak the foam. Then, order a large 3-topping pizza and finish that pint of coffee toffee bar crunch without anybody's help. Other days, you can go for a long run, hit the gym, or walk in the park. Find a body of water, breathe deep lungfuls of fresh air. See a matinee by yourself. Put on your cute clothes. Take a selfie. Have a salad with your slice. Doodle in your journal. Pet a dog you don't own. See the beauty in small things. See the beauty in yourself, even as you don your armor to make it through another day. Panther. For the women of Wakanda and the sisters in Oakland. If you want to be a princess, that's your prerogative. Be like Shuri. Learn to code. I would rather be a panther. Sleek and wild. An untamable beast who already knows how it feels to be free. A fierce fighter. Feared and endangered. Protective of her young and ready to defend her territory. You don't have to rock dark glasses, black leather, and a perfect afro. Wear a dashiki if you want. Just keep their legacy alive. Feed the poor. Heal the sick. Fight the power. Know your rights and teach the youth the truth. Driving while black and woman can get you killed. So check your blind spot, girl. Rage is a blade, so hold it carefully. Keep it close, but safely sheathed. Just like Fannie Lou, I question America. Who will answer me? For my people. If you ever dream of mothering dragons, if you take tea with hobbits or call Hermione kin, if you aren't afraid to walk leopards on leashes or ride on alligators, don't lose your nerve. Folks may stare in wonder, be quick to mock and malign, but deep down they marvel at your daring and envy your courage to be open about what it is you truly love. It's not easy being alien, but know that you are not alone. We are abandoning the margins, rejecting the boundaries of blackness, and making more room for everyone. We shall overcome. Don't let the beauty of this world lose its allure. Remember, even roses can climb walls. We have been designed to overcome. Sonnet for Ida. If I could wrap my people in my arms, I'd take them far from this chaotic place and shield my kin from every type of harm so that despair no longer shades each face. But conductors always understood not all slaves can see the chains they wear, and roots so deeply bound to hostile soil cannot bear to be exposed, even in pursuit of freedom. Ida tried to lead us west, but no land keeps its promise. The needle spins around and round, the compass useless in my palm. How can I serve my people? Perhaps my arms should never seek to bind a race destined to redeem humankind. A Woman Speaks by Audre Lorde. Moon-marked and touched by sun, my magic is unwritten. But when the sea turns back, it will leave my shape behind. I seek no favor, untouched by blood, unrelenting as the curse of love, permanent as my errors or my pride. I do not mix love with pity, nor hate with scorn. And if you would know me, look into the entrails of Uranus where the restless oceans pound. I do not dwell within my birth nor my divinities, who am ageless and half-grown, and still seeking my sisters, witches and Dahomey. Wear me inside their coiled clothes, as our mother did mourning. I have been woman for a long time. Beware my smile. I am treacherous with old magic, and the noon's new fury with all your wide futures promised. I am woman, and not white. Mermaids. I am still seeking my sisters, swallowed by dense forests and insatiable seas. The trees guided some girls back to their homes, but the waves simply took their tears with silent sympathy. Now bodies litter the beach, flesh turned to flotsam. This is no fairy tale. Though the story is grim, I once thought pirates only smuggled the most precious things. Black gold, they called us. Still, they emptied the Zong and sent 133 souls to the bottom of the sea. Sisters, you are not refuse. Though nations refuse you entry, until your bloated bodies bob atop their waves, your lives matter. Perhaps if we link arms across the sea, we can stop this traffic too. Till then, may your souls find peace with the mother of the sea. May our kin, who leapt, laughing into the yawning jaws of sharks, wreathe you with pearls. And may you tread weightless upon the seabed as the ancestors guide you back home. Tsunami. We will kneel on the field, and we will climb up that flagpole And we will tear down that monument. And we will march through the streets, and we will occupy your sacred spaces, and we will disrupt traffic, making you late, and we will shout down new Nazis spewing the same old message of hate. We will accept your disappointment. The shame is not ours. We will exceed your expectations. You never saw our true potential. We will not apologize for our rage. You earned every drop. A tsunami is coming. We are sounding the alarm. Appetite. Sometimes I eat my rage. Sometimes it eats me. How do I protest? My words march across the page, defiantly black. Queenhood divides us when one woman is placed above all others. We all need sisters like Solange, who will fiercely fight on our behalf. I make magic. Some look for the shimmer of fairy dust on rose petals. Some wish on a shooting star. Some mix up a potion or utter a spell. Some follow the rainbow to its pot of gold. But I make magic. With the words in my mind, I weave syllables into silver. I tell lyrical lies that illuminate the darkest mind and make all doubters believe. We are wise. We are wise. We will rise. We fight hate. We tempt fate. We risk all. We stand tall. We provoke. We stay woke. We can't breathe. We can't breathe. We still seethe. We stay mad. We break bad. We hold rage. We rampage. We scare you. We scared too. The source. No one at school knows what happens at the pier, and Kevon plans to keep it that way. I don't blame him, and I won't tell. On this side of the bridge, he's got a home, parents who love him, homeboys who show him respect on and off the court. He's got what so many of us have had taken away, but it comes at a price. Here, there is no magic, no glamour, no feathery lashes, skin dusted with gold, bodies bold and free, to touch, strut, twirl, just be. Here, there is still risk, but nowhere near the same reward. So, he keeps his head down, looks no one in the eye, laughs at every corny joke, gives as good as he gets. Today in bio, I watched as he whistled on cue when Keisha walked by switching that perfect ass. Tyrell puckered his lips, but she gave him the finger, eyes rolling as her diamond-tipped talon caught the light. His boys howled, so Tyrell had to save face. Keep stepping, bitch. I don't want nothing black but an Xbox. Then, Ms. G turned from the board, looked him straight in the eye. Boy, she demanded, who taught you to hate your source? Sacred. Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, which you have from God? You are not your own, Mama reminds me. You are our pearl, Pastor says from the pulpit. I am a good girl, Mama's consolation for one son in Rikers and another on the street. One night out couldn't hurt, I tell myself. One night with my friends instead of my books. One drink just to help me relax. And the room starts spinning. It's easier to go downstairs than up. So I go to the basement, find a sofa to lie on, wake to one hand pushing up my skirt, two others clamped around my wrists, a fourth on my ankle, and a heavy palm on the back of my head, pressing my screams into the cushion. Do you not know that my body is a temple? After a while, I stop counting, stop screaming. The hands let go, since there is no fight left in my limbs. Tears soak the cushion. Their laughter scrapes my ears. Then eternity ends, and they are gone. I slide onto the shag carpet, pull myself up the wall. My body is screaming, but I stagger through the dark room to the door promised by a draft of cold air, make my way up the block shivering, vomiting, gripping fence rails and lamp posts, feeling the disdain of neighbors who once beamed at me with pride. Do you know why? I want to ask them, how can it be that my body, this temple, has been defiled? Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Is this thing on? Can you hear me now? Give me a beat. No. Wait. If my words don't rhyme, will you still take the time to listen and learn? Or must I earn your attention with lyrical pretension? My words bloom on the page. You won't find me on stage, sculpting air with my hands as my voice expands to fill the darkness. There's more than one way to be a poet. Poems ring in my ears like bells no one else hears. They grow quietly, like moss on stone, penned in secrecy once I'm alone. This antisocial introvert is tender-hearted and easily hurt. But I turn the pain into verses. So free, the poem nurses me back to health. I can't rank MCs and won't try to appease the poetry police. My words are plain, my message direct. If you find me mundane, just try to respect my delivery. Unique, like me. Say her name. Say her name and solemnly vow never to forget, nor allow our sisters' lives to be erased. Their presence cannot be replaced. This senseless slaughter must stop now. We toiled in fields with sack and plow, swung next to our men on the bow, were violated, called unchaste. Say her name. Some say, to black men, we must bow. Our rights will trickle down somehow. No problem solved until it's faced. But we have no time left to waste. Our daughters with strength we endow. Say her name. You fear the shadow, but it is the substance of us you most desire. Your smile is not owed to any man. Genuine compliments are free. Magical black girls are made of starshine and clay. Gaze at us in awe. Won't you celebrate with me? By Lucille Clifton. Won't you celebrate with me what I have shaped into a kind of life? I had no model. Born in Babylon, both non-white and woman, what did I see to be except myself? I made it up. Here on this bridge between starshine and clay, my one hand holding tight my other hand. Come, celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed. To be free. I wish I knew how it feels to be free. Is it roots or chains that keep us earthbound? Maybe the stars do hold our destiny. Displaced person, unwelcome refugee, alien, banned, forced to live underground. I wish I knew how it feels to be free. We cross deserts seeking sanctuary. Then the sea swallows us without a sound. Maybe the stars do hold our destiny. If we cannot live here with dignity, a better home must finally be found, so we may know how it feels to be free. Our true source is a distant galaxy. The journey here, a mystery profound. The stars hold the key to our destiny. Yearning for home binds our community. Across the planet, our cries will resound. We want to know how it feels to be free, to dwell amidst stars is our destiny. Her cloud. In math class, she spits rhymes, pencil drumming on the desk. I sit one row back, pretending to solve equations scribbled on the board, but really, I'm writing down her dope lyrics as she says them over and over, committing them to memory. She doesn't know that I am her cloud. She doesn't see how I hover, try to shield her from the glare of suns. She doesn't care what people think. I wish I could be different, like her. But for now, it's enough just to sit here behind her. Maybe one day, she'll realize I've got her back. The crown. If you love me, abdicate. Forfeit the crown they would place upon your head. Let humility bend your neck instead. Remember, when you stand in the pulpit, that to minister is to serve. See in me your own divinity. Raise your fist, smash pedestals, be gentle with yourself. Take my hand. Walk beside me, and I will show you how to create a world within yourself. Try a little tenderness, because my heart is full of love for you, for us, and for all our people. You don't have to be the man. We can fight the man together. If you're content to be levelly human, remain humane. Fight for my right to be free, like I fight for yours. Anansi. Sister trickster, snare me with your sticky strands. Wrap me in silver silk and teach me how to deceive. Sow doubt as I weave a web of wily tales that will lure those who listen closer to my truth. Runaway. In a starlit swamp, with hounds baying behind me, I focus on the soles of your feet, flashing like mirrors in the dark, no map to guide me, just your sweat-soaked back. I could shut my eyes and track you by scent. This train we have formed will never stop. Should you stagger and fall, I will be there to raise you up. We will reach the river together because there is no freedom for me without you. On Being Brought from Africa to America by Phyllis Wheatley. 'Twas mercy brought me from my pagan land, taught my benighted soul to understand that there's a God, that there's a Savior too. Once I redemption neither sought nor knew. Some view our sable race with scornful eye, Their color is a diabolic dye. Remember, Christians, Negroes, black as Cain, may be refined and join the angelic train. On being builders of a new world. A riot's the language of the unheard. Our race, besieged, has had its dreams deferred. Africa lives on in blood, root, and bone. Yet, when we are murdered, our names aren't known. We cannot breathe. In obscurity die. Yet march with outrage we have been denied. Remember, brothers, sisters' lives count too. As equals, we could build this world anew. Dreams sustain us, so feed your imagination and reshape the world. Stolen bodies on stolen land. Our people know that water is life. When the sea turns back, the souls left behind will rise to shame the new world. Ascension. For Sabria. Things that are buried can still rise. Seeds sleep through these bleak winter months, but flourish in the spring when sunlight summons them from the soil. Spirits rise too. So know, sweet sister, that the solstice is here. Days will grow longer, and sun rays will soon warm the earth. So shift the shroud of dead leaves from your limbs. Let air wash like fuel over your pierced flesh. Then rise like an avenging angel, like Christ anarchist. Spread your wings of flame, Phoenix, and burn so bright that your immolation cleanses us all. Join the others as they streak the black sky silver, showering traitors and disciples alike with the dust of distant stars. At the window, I will bear witness, beside my twinkling tree, softly singing, Pie Jesu, dona eis requiem. Free them all. Free Brescia. Free Roos. Free Ahed. Free Centoia. Free. 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 Free all political prisoners. Free your mind. Break the bars, stretch your heart. Dream a radical future. Become an abolitionist. Sister, you are the mirror that never betrays me. You are the balm that heals all my wounds when the fight leaves me weary. You take up my sword and shield when storms leave me battered. It's with you I find refuge. You are the peace of companionable silence. You are the riot of unrestrained laughter. You are the sun and the shadow ahead, above, and behind me. Sister, you are the bond never forfeited, the promise always kept. You are the blessing that compensates for the world's injustice. We are bound, not by blood, but by choice. Love alone makes us kin. Your eyes always see my whole self, who I am, have been, and could yet become. You are my most trusted witness. And when I fail, your compassion teaches me to forgive myself. Our paths may diverge, sister, but loyalty will keep us close. In an inconstant world full of virtual friends, devotion is a gift. And for that, I thank you. Hands up. Hands up. Don't shoot. Rise up. Don't stop. Head up. Don't despair. Don't surrender. Don't let go of your dreams. Mouse. Niggas ain't shit. Some of them at least. I should know. Been in these streets long enough. Not saying I'm perfect, but a no from a female ain't never set me off. Plenty fish in the sea. Mama say, why you calling my child a rodent? It ain't like that, I say. Rats is nasty, but a mouse, just a little bitty critter looking for a safe place to live in this big old world. My mouse. She too little to strap a real blade, so I got her a knife just her size. No bigger than a pin. Weren't 'bout the blade. It was 'bout making her feel like she could always fight back in case any nigga stepped to her like that. Friday nights, Mouse be out with her friends. They go over to the village, not cruising or nothing, just seeing and being seen. I ain't worried 'cause I know she in good hands. Shit, Fee and Lena bigger and tougher than some dudes I know. But some fool got his feelings hurt when he found out he was knocking on the wrong door. Fee got in his face, told him to step, but he grabbed Nubia, ripped the gold locks from her head. My little mouse? She ain't nothing if not loyal. Took one look at the blood dripping from her friend's scalp, pulled out her knife and jabbed him just like I taught her. Then another brother shows up, sees this punk swinging on sister, says, fight me, bitch. But it's Mouse doing a bid, 'cause the papers called her and Fee and Lena and Nu a pack of wolves. When all they done is look out for each other. Prison's too big a place for my baby sister. If I could, I'd do the time for her. It's my fault anyway. I just wanted Mouse to be safe, 'cause these streets ain't no joke. I learned how to handle myself, but they still took me out in the end. Now, I'm just a face on a mural, a breath with no words, my apology just enough to flutter the flame of the candles Mama lights and leaves by the wall. Get up. Get up. Get on up. Get up. Get on up. Don't stay on the scene. Remember Nina said, you've got to learn to leave the table. when love's no longer being served. Inherent value means you were born precious and owe no one service. No wall can contain ancestral aspirations. Our lives, their victory. In your DNA, live your foremother's best traits. Display them with pride. Rebel. I rebel because I am not a good negress, uppity and proud. I've forgotten my place and don't need you to remind me. Men made of glass. Men made of glass, beware my smile. With lips closed, I can cast a spell that will reduce you to shards. I draw magic from a well more ancient than you can fathom. I commune with unsettled spirits, listening to their lament. You spilled my sister's blood because they denied you. Shame led to slaughter, indefensible panic. My sisters are black pearls, far beyond your valuation. You were never worthy. And now, your time is up. Women like us. Grandma couldn't kiss me, and all her meals went through the blender because of the drug that once ran through her veins. Her kisses, puckerless and wet, were pressed with force, but filled with love. Grandma couldn't kiss or chew, but her stories didn't cease. She passed on what she wanted preserved. Tales told deliberately and arranged like the orderly jars of pulpy tomatoes she canned for future consumption. Her brokenness embarrassed her, but I hope she knew she was not to blame, that the darkness living inside of her was a curse and a blessing, an insistent invitation to seek refuge, to withdraw and find relief from pain's blinding glare. I wish I had known at 16 that I wasn't the first in our family to slide into the abyss. Over time, I learned how to find my way out, buoyed by borrowed hope and the same frantic energy that wrung my grandmother's gnarled hands. In the abyss, I find respite from the everyday hustle that grinds me down. I grind my teeth down with worry, but when the darkness envelops me, I sleep with total surrender. When I awake, anxiety insists I get up and record my dreams. This is my uneasy balance. There were some stories Grandma kept to herself. Years after her death, I learned my grandmother was a survivor. I hope it wasn't shame that censored her. I hope she knew I wouldn't have loved her less. They say the dead never die, so long as we speak their names. I proudly bear hers. I hope my grandmother knows that I am not ashamed of this inheritance. I know what it cost a woman in her position to ask for help. She wanted to live with less pain. She charged me with telling our story. Women like us may be wounded, but we can also heal. Women like us are not disposable. Women like us must testify. A big blue sky poem. A sparrow pecks at crumbs in a Brooklyn gutter, builds a nest from the scraps of others' lives. She teaches her young how to forage, so they too can soar into the big blue sky. The tree that is their home was once a seed, small as its chance of survival, yet now that oak towers above us, its roots strong enough to rupture concrete. In desperate times, search the city for signs of survival. Remember that we all live beneath the same big blue sky that stretches unbroken over borders, walls, seas, all the things that divide us. Beyond Earth's dome, sky blue deepens to infinite blackness. Stars swirl and burn in boundless galaxies. That is the source to which we will return. For we are made of starshine and clay. When Sojourner's Ma'am wept for her stolen children, she looked up at the stars, and through the veil of her tears knew that starlight shone upon them too. So, love, when you find yourself raging beneath the big blue sky, know that you are not alone. When night falls, we will stand, each in our corner of the world, and find solace in the same bright stars. For Sandra, by Nikki Giovanni. I wanted to write a poem that rhymes, but revolution doesn't lend itself to bebopping. Then my neighbor, who thinks I hate, asked, "Do you ever write tree poems?" I like trees, so I thought, I'll write a beautiful green tree poem. Peeked from my window to check the image, noticed that the schoolyard was covered with asphalt. No green, no trees grow in Manhattan. Then, well, I thought the sky. I'll do a big blue sky poem. But all the clouds have winged low since No Dick was elected. So I thought again, and it occurred to me, maybe I shouldn't write at all, but clean my gun and check my kerosene supply. Perhaps these are not poetic times at all. #petty. If Cut-Eye could kill, I'd be dead by now, but popularity has never been my priority. So turn your back or walk on by. I'm not numb to sneers and snubs, but I can't do more than own my mistakes and my privilege. I won't apologize for existing or using my voice to speak the truth. Talk about my mother if it means that much to you. I have work to do. You can tell me to stay in my lane, but it's not a race. I will follow my own path at my own pace and let you do the same. May God grant traveling mercies to us all. Blessing. May you have a resilient spirit and a compassionate heart, the desire to heal and the will to forgive. May you never exhaust your capacity for kindness. May you always find peace in your home and in your mind. May your eyes be awake to the beauty all around you. May your ears be tuned to the varied songs of life. May your arms always be ready to embrace those needing comfort. And may even the simplest blessings fill your heart with gratitude. Indictments are rare, like snow in the Sahara or cops behind bars. Innocence belongs to other people's children. Ours are born condemned. Stop killing us. Stop killing us. Stop killing us. Stop killing us. Stop. Notes. Black Girl Miracle. This poem draws upon the work of several Black feminists. I borrowed the word miracle from an essay by poet June Jordan, The Difficult Miracle of Black Poetry in America, or something like a sonnet for Phyllis Wheatley, 2006. In her speech, The Transformation of Silence into Language and Action, 1977, Audre Lorde said, "For to survive in the mouth of this dragon we call America, we have had to learn this first and most vital lesson, that we were never meant to survive, not as human beings." Still We Rise is a hat tip to Maya Angelou's beloved poem, And Still I Rise. I was thinking specifically of professional athletes Serena Williams and Simone Biles, as well as the Black women of NASA featured in the 2017 film Hidden Figures, Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson. Lullaby. This poem references the murder of several Black youth. In 2014, 12-year-old Tamir Rice was shot and killed by a Cleveland police officer while playing in a park with a toy gun. In 2015, 15-year-old Dejaria Becton was brutalized by a police officer in McKinney, Texas, while attending a pool party. In 2015, 16-year-old Shakara was dragged from her desk and thrown to the floor by a school officer in Columbia, South Carolina. In 2010, 7-year-old Ayanna Stanley Jones was shot and killed by police as she slept on the sofa of her grandmother's living room in Detroit. In 2012, 22-year-old Rekia Boyd was shot and killed by off-duty Chicago police detective Dante Servin. In 1991, 15-year-old Latasha Harlins was shot and killed by store owner Soon Jadu after being falsely accused of stealing a bottle of orange juice. In 2012, 17-year-old Trayvon Martin was shot and killed by vigilante George Zimmerman while walking home from the store with a bag of candy and a bottle of fruit punch. Black Lives Matter. This poem is a tribute to the 3 founders of the Black Lives Matter movement: Alicia Garza, Opal Tometi, and Patrice Kahn Cullors. The final words, This Steady Love are taken from Patrice's 2018 memoir, When They Call You a Terrorist. Don't Touch My Hair. Across the country and around the world, Black girls have faced bullying and even suspension for the way they wear their hair. Black hair is political. We are judged by those outside our community, but we also judge one another sometimes. Learning to embrace and care for our hair is also political. Panther. This poem blends references from the 2018 film Black Panther with the activism and values of the Black Panther Party. The Panthers were feared for their militant image and rhetoric, but beyond asserting Black people's Second Amendment right to bear arms, they ran a free breakfast program, operated health clinics, and taught Black children about their heritage. I also borrowed from Nina Simone's 1967 song, I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free, written by Billy Taylor and Dick Dallas. Haiku 2. The danger of driving while Black and woman is a reference to Sandra Bland, who died in police custody after being pulled over in Texas for failing to signal a lane change. I Question America is taken from the testimony of Fannie Lou Hamer, an activist from Mississippi who was brutalized by police for demanding voting rights for African Americans. In 1964, she told of the abuse she endured and challenged the Credentials Committee at the Democratic National Convention. The phrase, "When the sea turns back," is from Audre Lorde's A Woman Speaks. For My People. I wrote this poem for anyone who's been shunned or shamed for not being Black enough. I alluded to other outliers like Josephine Baker, who infamously strolled through Paris with a leopard named Chiquita on a leash. Riding on alligators refers to the lyrics of Beyoncé's song Formation from her 2016 album Lemonade. Sonnet for Ida. Ida B. Wells, anti-lynching crusader and journalist, urged African Americans to migrate from the South to the Midwest. In her memoir, Crusade for Justice, Wells wrote, "If it were possible, I would gather my race in my arms and fly away with them." Mermaids. The first line of this poem is taken from A Woman Speaks by Audre Lorde. I use her verse to address the migrant crisis in the Mediterranean, where in 2017, 26 Nigerian teenage girls drowned. I also referenced the kidnapping, rape, and forced marriage of Nigerian girls by Boko Haram, some of whom escaped and made their way home. I call their story grim as a way of evoking Grimm's fairy tales, full of magic and danger, for girls especially. In 1781, a British slave ship, the Zong, emptied its cargo of enslaved Africans into the sea in order to collect the insurance money. The mother of the sea I reference is Yemoja, also known as Yemaya in the Americas, a Yoruba Orisha whose domain is the sea. Tsunami. This poem references acts of resistance taken by Colin Kaepernick, Bree Newsom, and Takia Thompson. NFL quarterback Kaepernick protested the police killing of unarmed Black people by kneeling during the national anthem. In 2015, Newsom climbed a 30-foot pole to remove the Confederate flag from the South Carolina State House. Thompson, a student at North Carolina Central University, was arrested after toppling a Confederate monument on campus in 2017. Haiku 3. Many Black women have claimed the title Queen as a way to honor and uplift their sisters and themselves. I respect that choice. I grew up in a former British colony, At school each day I sang, "God Save the Queen," and the image of Queen Elizabeth II was on Canadian currency. I am not a monarchist and feel the concept of queenhood, particularly when used by men, doesn't really serve women since it elevates one above all others, and not on the basis of merit. This haiku was inspired by this line from the Combahee River Collective's 1977 statement. We reject pedestals, queenhood, and walking 10 paces behind. To be recognized as human, levelly human, is enough. The third haiku refers to the 2014 video of an altercation in an elevator between Solange Knowles and her sister Beyoncé's husband, Jay-Z. We are wise. This poem and We Can't Breathe are inspired by Gwendolyn Brooks's 1959 poem, We Real Cool. In 2014, a police officer in Staten Island, New York, used an illegal chokehold to subdue and ultimately kill Eric Garner. Garner's last words were, "I can't breathe." The source. Outrage around the 2018 murder of Stephon Clark by Sacramento police was complicated by colorist tweets he is alleged to have made 3 years prior to his death, including, "I don't want nothing black but a Xbox." Some black women felt ambivalent about and or betrayed by Clark's remarks and refused to protest his death at the hands of police. Sacred. I was raised in a devout Christian family. I am not religious now, but I can still recite one passage from the Bible. 1 Corinthians 6, 19 to 20. Here's how it sounds in my head, at least. Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, which you have from God? You are not your own. You were bought with a price. So glorify God in your body. With this poem, I wanted to contrast the messages young women receive. To be valued, you must be perfect, pure, with the relative silence around the behavior and attitudes of young men who too often see black girls as anything but sacred. Say her name. The last stanza of this rondo paraphrases a quote by James Baldwin. In As Much Truth as One Can Bear, published in 1962 in the New York Times Book Review, Baldwin wrote, "Not everything that is faced can be solved, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." Haiku 4. I borrowed Starshine and Clay from Lucille Clifton's poem, Won't You Celebrate With Me? Astrophysicists have proven that all matter on Earth and in the universe originates from the residue or dust of dying stars. To be free. This villanelle takes its 2 refrains from Nina Simone's song, I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free, written by Billy Taylor and Dick Dallas, and Octavia Butler's 1993 novel, Parable of the Sower. The destiny of Earthseed is to take root among the stars. The Crown. This poem critiques the patriarchal assumption that only men can or should lead. In response to the degradation Black people continue to endure within a white supremacist society, some reach for uplifting metaphors and or titles that don't actually promote equality. We can't fight dominance by reproducing it in our communities, our families, and or our personal relationships. To quote the Combahee River Collective once more, to be recognized as human, levelly human is enough. Anansi. In West African and Caribbean folklore, Anansi is a trickster figure who can be human, but often takes the form of a spider. Anansi is known by other names, including Aunt Nancy. And so, in this poem, I appeal to her to share her legendary storytelling skills so that I, too, may ensnare listeners. Runaway. This poem explores the Black feminist model of leadership using imagery from a fugitive slave's flight to freedom. The final four lines evoke Fannie Lou Hamer's declaration from a 1971 speech, "Nobody's free until everybody's free." On being builders of a new world. This poem was inspired by On Being Brought from Africa to America by Phyllis Wheatley, an enslaved 18th century teen poet and the first Black person to publish a book of poetry in the United States. The opening line is borrowed from Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., who said in a 1966 interview, "I think that we've got to see that a riot is the language of the unheard." The phrase, "dreams deferred," is a reference to Langston Hughes's 1951 poem, Harlem. Ascension. This poem was inspired by the brutal 2018 murder of 15-year-old Sabria McLean. The teen was stabbed almost 80 times before her body was set on fire and buried beneath a pile of leaves. A young African-American man she'd met online was arrested. The murder took place in my West Philadelphia neighborhood just a few days before Christmas. I was reading Nnedi Okorafor's The Book of Phoenix at the time, and so imagined Sabria regenerating and taking flight. The winter solstice coincided with a meteor shower and full moon, the cold moon, and so I imagined the spirits of murdered Black women streaking across the sky. Black women are more likely than all other women in the U.S. to be victims of homicide. The final lines of the poem are in Latin from the song Pie Jesu, Pious Jesus, give them rest. Free them all. Brescia Meadows was 14 years old when she was charged with aggravated murder for shooting her abusive father. She was released from custody 2 years later in 2018. Cece McDonald is a transgender woman who was imprisoned after killing a transphobic man in self-defense. Housed in men's prisons, she was released in 2014. Ahed Tamimi is a Palestinian teenager who was arrested at age 16 for slapping and kicking an Israeli soldier attempting to enter her home. She was released in 2018 after serving an 8-month sentence. At age 16, sex trafficking victim Centoya Brown was convicted of first-degree murder and robbery. Tennessee law requires that she serve a minimum of 51 years in prison. Centoya received clemency from Governor Bill Haslam in 2019. Mouse. This dramatic monologue was inspired by Out in the Night, a 2014 documentary about the New Jersey Four. In 2006, a group of 7 Black lesbians were sexually harassed and attacked by a homophobic straight Black man in the Village in New York City. When they defended themselves, they were arrested and 4 refused to take a plea. The press dubbed them killer lesbians and wolf pack. The documentary interviews Renata Hill, Patrice Johnson, Venice Brown, and Terrain Dandridge as they fight the charges of gang assault and attempted murder while trying to keep their families together. Patrice was convicted and given the longest sentence because she used a small knife to defend Venice. Carrying a knife was suggested by her brothers. One was shot by police as a teen, and another died while she was imprisoned. This poem is a fictionalized account. Get up. This poem opens with lyrics from James Brown's 1970 song, Get Up, I Feel Like Being a Sex Machine, co-written by Bobby Bird, and then shifts to lyrics from Nina Simone's 1965 song, You've Got to Learn, written by Charles Aznavour and Marcel Stellman. Haiku 6, Inherent Value, is taken from the Combahee River Collective's 1977 statement. Above all else, our politics initially sprang from the shared belief that Black women are inherently valuable, that our liberation is a necessity not as an adjunct to somebody else's, but because of our need as human persons for autonomy. Men Made of Glass. This poem speaks to the phenomenon called male fragility, whereby men respond to challenges to their authority with violence. The warning, "Beware my smile," is borrowed from A Woman Speaks by Audre Lorde. Indefensible panic refers to the sham defense used by straight cisgender men who murder transgender women. A Big Blue Sky poem. This poem was inspired by For Sandra by Nikki Giovanni. The reference to Sojourner Truth's mother comes from another poem, Oriflamme by Jessie Redmond Fawcett, originally published in the January 1920 issue of The Crisis.
Say Her Name was written by Zetta Elliott. Let me know in the comments if this book resonates with you. Paint me a picture so I can understand. As always, don't forget to like, share, watch more videos, and subscribe to the channel.